Hello there and welcome to my channel. I'm Kate, I'm in my nest and I want to say thank you for joining me. This afternoon I'm going to do one of my very favourite things, and that's start a new project with you. That's right. If you've been with me for a while, you know that I love multiple projects. I actually think they're really good for me. And I've been doing little things for a while because I've been traveling. But now that I'm home, my fingers have been itching to start a large project. So this is not my new project. This is one that I don't know that I've shown you very much. This is the quilt that's called The Butterflies Are Free. And I suppose it shows you, some of my favorite things. This one started on a vintage tablecloth. The work is absolutely beautiful, and on top of that beautiful foundation I have collaged and embroidered multiple things. So she's large, and it was really something that I enjoyed doing. So it has been 2 years almost exactly. I don't really know exactly, since I started my very largest quilt, which was the one flower at a time quilt that was in the 2025 AQC. And I've done sort of smaller things in between, but I am just, as I said, itchy to start something really large in panels. If you've been with me, you know that I love making pouches, I make panels, I do mini makes, all those sorts of things. But I want to do a really big project. So that's what we're going to start this afternoon. So while I'm getting into position, I want to check in with you that you are well. Oh my gosh, things flying everywhere. This is a stitch along. You know that I just love your company with me, and whatever day you're working or watching this, I do hope it's been a good one. I mean, I can't even do a reveal because look at the back. Okay, I'm going to start with the back first. I am doing have I pinned that? It must be pinned. Disregard that. I have a beautiful vintage blanket. It's gorgeous and thin. You know how much I love stitching on blanket, my favorite thing. And I've done panels this size. I didn't measure them. I literally had the blanket. I'd use this for some other project. So I literally just tore it down the middle, and the size of the width of this, I then made a square, if that makes any sense. So this will be hard to see the whole thing, but bear with me because I am excited. So what should I say first? I want this to be 2 years on from the one flower at a time quilt. I want it to sort of reflect what I love to do, and yeah, just reflect who I am and my story at the moment. So this is where I'm up to. I went to the green door yesterday and started this project, and the beautiful Hi Di said, oh, we'll be at the end holding it up like last time, because the green door is at Robertson. I call it, I go to the open studio whenever I can. That's on a Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 1. And it's my happy place, and in fact the place that changed my life and launched me on this wonderful journey that I'm having. So it's where I go to make and to sit amongst the gorgeous women there, and of course be hosted by Zoe, who's not well at the moment. Well, she has been struggling, so we're sending our thoughts. Okay, so this is panel number 1. I thought about saying to you that I would do one a week, or start one a week. I don't know. But here she is. So every panel has had a piece of this beautiful vintage linen. I think it might be Sanderson, I don't know. I got it from Judy of Lavender High Tea in Melbourne. She sells on Instagram, and I think my friend Sarah was helped, get me this. Anyway, so each panel I've got a remnant of this floral, and then in my usual way, I'm quite happy already. It's going to be always big. I better take my, oh, this is reminders. This is my pincushion from Stitching and Stories in Wisconsin. Look at that little swanee. And this is the birds from Waco that I can keep my pins in. I haven't done much on the home front of tidying. Oh, furniture and removal I have. Okay, so the perspective is it's going to cover your screen. It goes from there over to there, and it's square. But I'm going to talk you through what I've done so far, and I'm going to do some stitching. I won't make anything other than, I was about to say you'll see this grow, and I'll take shots, but I'm not very good at videoing and putting them in. So just be patient with me. Okay, so I invisibly tiny tacked this down, first of all. That was the first thing I did. And then I want to, as always, blend my favorite textures and where I am and tell a story. So this is the block print from India. I don't know whether you've seen this one. I don't know what I might have used it in July Jingles. Not sure. It's beautiful. I love the sweep of these flowers and the movement. So that went on second. It's almost half and half, which is something I don't usually do. I usually do 2/3 to 1/3, but hey, it's my first one. I'm just getting warmed up. I've left overhang. Oh gosh, I've got threads everywhere, because these will all join up with each other, and I don't know whether this is the middle block, the bottom left, etc. That will only come out over time. So had that one, and now I'm starting to add the textures and the layers over the top. So what do I like adding? Well, things that are meaningful to me. So this fabric has been in all of my quilts so far, starting in the end of 2024. Mum and I bought this from the sewing basket when I was so new to slow stitching, and it's in one flower. It's in the Betty quilt. It's in that the butterflies are free, and it's going to be here. It's a very inexpensive fabric, but looking at those flowers and that yellow just makes me smile every single time. So I don't know whether I'll have enough to go on every block, because I've used some big pieces here, but it's just great for a background, for embellishing, for adding things over the top. So there's a piece there, and I haven't stitched it on yet. I better just check. There's going to be a piece down the bottom. You can see that the biggest challenge already is that the background of this vintage linen is very cream, and I love that, but it is contrasted to this block print, which has a very pink background. So the whole time I'm challenging myself with the interplay of the cream voids and the solid color. So this pink will not, I'm not sure what I'm trying to say, but it will be covered up and it will be balanced. So for example, I just got a new lot of doilies from Leah, who I buy from on Facebook from time to time. She has beautiful things, and I was just going through the pile this afternoon, and this happened to be in there. It's like a flower tree, so I put that on here to sort of start to balance out the creams from this side with this side, and it may well be that I paint or tea stain or embellish, who knows, but Can you tell I'm excited? Because I can't lay it all out. Some people are wonderful at planning the composition all out in advance. I can't do that. I start and then I just start getting eclectic. So that's one of the embroideries. Here's another little one. This sweet little piece with a pink bow, and using my flower to flower adage that I hear in my head all the time. Or leaf to leaf. This leaf is going to join onto this fabric. Now this is another, I think it's another Sanderson vintage that I bought from Judy, and she's not all the way down because I like to leave room to plop things underneath or put them on top. But I have a lot of these flowers that are going to be, oh, here's actually, speaking of which, this is off the same fabric. I've used this on a pouch that may have sailed already to another nest. I'm not sure, but she's done there. So they will be things in common across all the blocks. The other exciting piece I need to, before I start stitching, is you might remember when I was in Texas. Well, where's my Texas pouch? I've got that song, She's from Texas, in my head. The beautiful Annette gifted me some quilt top that, you know, I just don't get my hands on here. I've already shared some with my close girls yesterday, and I have some still. And I thought, so I've got vintage Melbourne, I've got Indian block print, and here I have Texan quilt already. And if you've been with me for a while, you know I'm not great with angles, but I like how I've put this beautiful, and you'll have to tell me, I think it's feed sack. If it's not, it doesn't matter because it's so beautiful. I've already sort of put that bit into the garden, this bit into the top corner. I've got a big spot here that might get filled in. I might just embellish and embroider that myself. Oh, and here's another little flower that I've harvested off another work. She wasn't working for me on that other piece, and you can see I've joined her by stitching. So that little piece in there. Okay, so with all of that, I hope that gives you context. Draw breath, Kate, and find a needle. I've done that. And what will we do? We might actually see if we can put this on. I like using everything, to be honest. Let's use this. Okay, that reminds me, have I said this already? I've got a bazaar coming up the first weekend in September, and I will have another set of these, which I call treasure threads. They're my merino wool and silk wool thread. That is just delicious to stitch with. So I'll have some of those. I'll have my new kit for September, and I won't release the name of that yet, but so it won't be arriving the month before because I've been away. But if you want to do that with me, you can buy the kit and a few other things. So just, if you're someone who likes to mark things in advance, just know that my newsletter will be out, September 1 will be out this weekend. All going well. I cracked my laptop screen when I was in the States, and I can't actually function without it. So it's going to be a quick road trip to Canberra tomorrow, to the Apple store. I've had this problem before in the past, and it's out of warranty, and it costs more than the purchase of a new one to get a screen fixed. So I think, well, I'll talk to them and show them, but I think I can trade in my old one, and if I get that going, I will have my newsletter out Sunday Australian time, and maybe, I don't know when it comes in Northern Hemisphere time. So this is what I like doing. So I have to join this piece of quilt top onto the backing, but I'm doing it via embroidering this flower. So I've got the pink wool, and I put this bit down, and then let's embroider some of this, and then when I get sick of that, we will go back up to here. So not a traditional just straight. Look, sometimes I do that, but I'm a bit funny in that I just follow my heart, and I don't often do straight lines. Now, if you're like me, I'm a bit sad today that Dolly Parton has passed. Someone said, you know, heaven will be more sparklier, and we're a little less sparkles. What a wonderful gift she gave to the world. And the fact that she wrote I Will Always Love You, like that song that we know so well, sung by Whitney Houston. How clever, how clever. Anyway, so thinking of Dolly and her family, and just being grateful that we got to listen and to see her smile, and to, you know, all the messages are about how much she gave back. So now, Rupert, probably you would be saying, now ask me what I'm up to. I am thinking of you all. I am missing my time in the US. It's like, you know, these things happen and you live them, and then you come home and you reflect, and you realize that they were even better than when you were living it. Does that make sense? I know Cindy's been having a, I don't know what she calls it, a paper crown this evening, or it'll be over now, but she just has people in to make and create in her space. So I sent her a message saying, I wish I was there, because that's true. So you can see we're into full-on embellish this flower instead of going up. But I cannot help myself, and it is, this linen is so beautiful to stitch into. So yeah, it was lovely to see friends at the studio yesterday to check in, hear what's going on. Just spending time with my husband. It's been great, making plans for the family to get together. I've been blessed that jet lag has been sort of the best ever. And, you know, maybe you know more about it than I, but quite a number of people are saying it's the direction you fly. And so while I flew a long way, I was going with the turn of the earth rotation. I think that's the word. Because compared to coming back from our last trip, which was against, there's no comparison. Anyway, even if you're jet lagged, it's worth it. I'm looking out and I can see my washing on the line. I was so homely on, when was it? Monday, that I put washing out. And then, of course, yesterday it rained and I was rejoicing with everyone with the rain, and then thought, you forgot to bring the washing in. So it's had an extra day to dry. So I probably should, after this video, zip out and bring it in, because the sun is shining and all is well. Okay, so that's a little bit. And you know, why I like doing this sort of stitching is it suits my eclectic nature and my bumblebee approach, where I don't stay in one spot very long. So we've got that embroidery started. I've got this little piece in here, and I'm thinking I'm going lucky dipping. I want to use some cottons that I haven't used for a long time, but they're not jumping out at me. Now, I've had some inquiries about these little boxes, and I've been in touch with Cindy. Cindy will have them in her store in about 2 weeks from Japan. So I'm just going to point you in her direction, because that's where I found them, and I'll leave it with that. Okay, so here's this beautiful pearl. I'm also looking, actually it's not a bit dark. I've got these that I haven't used for a long time. This is a favourite. These are new packets that I bought because I haven't used it, because I used a lot when I was in my first weeks overseas. So this is the number 3 pearl. And it was Felicity who first showed me how wonderful it was. Look at that. That's going to... I want to do that too. Very, very excited. Now, this is a little bit funny because I want that raggy edge over there, but I don't want a pin in my way. So actually, why don't we start down here? That's the way to do it. Do a stitch instead of a pin. Okay, we're going to do some little stitches, sort of my, I don't know what it's called, back stitch with a break in between it. So I've sort of put some stitches down already, but now I want to do sort of some seed stitches to take away the white. And also just secure it in place. And mine are all different sizes. Oh, which one do I pull? Oh, it's a bit of a stretch to princess. So I haven't really started to tidy the nest. I've been focusing on some other rooms so far, but I do need to get organised if I'm going to make some kits and do some dyeing and all of that. And I actually had to get a lot of fabric. Oh, stab. I had to get a lot of fabric out just to start, you know, assembling what I'm going to use for this project. So I want this little leaf to go over the top of that big flower. Oh, which is proving harder than I thought. So let's just go way under for the moment and then come back up down here. Yep. While we're here, why don't we just do some stitches over this green part. I was talking to the ladies how I often imagine that this is an extension petal. So you just make a little triangle that didn't exist before on that flower, but it proves really handy in joining that flower to something else. Turn it around. If you've been with me for a while and remember me starting the one flower at a time quilt, what I loved about that, and I'm using sort of the same thing, I hope, in my head, is I just did the panels in random order, and I didn't at that point know which was going to be up, down or sideways. So they sort of worked from every angle, which means, see, I can just turn this around and it shouldn't look upside down. It should just look like a garden still. So these tiny little, well, they're not tiny, but it's wishful thinking, these little stitches, compared to some of my usually bigger stitches, are just helping, you know, ground this piece of embroidery into the bigger picture. And sometimes I cover the whole thing in, and other times I'll just leave bits. So like I haven't filled that in at the moment. We'll see what happens. Now, sometimes I would leave the edge of this bow up, but in this case I know that I won't be putting anything underneath it. So we're going right to the edge, right to the tip. And again, I want this bow to appear as part of this beautiful Indian embroidery underneath. Well, it's not an embroidery yet, but it will be. So with that in mind, let's go down this beautiful orange line. Oh, and I picked up a bit of stray wool as well. So it's midweek, it's Wednesday here. Oh, one pin has under my hand there, so we're going to do a little line down this. I've still got thread left, so I just look around and go, where can I go next? And there's a little line going up there, so let's oh, there it is, I lost it. I can't tell you how excited I am to be doing this. It's been in the back of my head wanting, and then I think I said to the girls yesterday that I woke up yesterday morning like it was Christmas morning, thinking I'm going to the studio, which is like Christmas, and I'm going to start my next quilt. And that's what I've done. I tore the blanket in bed before I went yesterday. I put most of just that linen down, and then today I have started this first block. So if I just bring that up, you can see, see there? So they've already got texture, and there's the seed stitch, and there's that big rose, and what shall we do? I could do this flower down here, which I wouldn't mind doing some gold or orange on. I'm missing my gold thread. I don't know where that is. This is dangerous. Everything might just go falling off. Have I showed you that yet? Baker's. So we found it in the Robertson Minis for me. Look, that's sort of golden yellow. It's not variegated, which is what I really wanted, but let's just do something in this flower to get it down. Oops. As I said, this flower comes from the same fabric as that one, which is different to this. And as I often say, this is one of my most favorite things, just to sort of remake fabric. It's a bit bold of me, but that's what collage is, like taking little bits of something and put them together in a new way. So again, let's just do some little random stitches. That was a big one. Oh. To give texture to the center of this flower. And I'll probably do 2 or 3 different colors, especially when I find my gold thread, the gold variegated one, pearl. Multi-directional. I know it's a bit hard to get your head around if you've been a traditional embroiderer. I suppose it just is, what you're used to. But my entry point was just picking up the needle and getting things down. So I suppose I'm a little bit lucky in that I'm freed from that tradition, that voice inside of my head that I know some of you have. And which I think is a good thing. So always remember, I'm not advocating ditching the rules. It's just that I haven't come from that background, except when I was in 3rd class. didn't do very neat stitching even then. Okay, so I'm just having a little bit of fun with this thread. Multi-directions, not thinking really very much, except that this is the center of a flower, and channeling stitches. And I don't have to go right through the blanket because this other linen is underneath it. Oh, too excited. What has happened? Oh yeah, that's the end. There we go. Thank you for the beautiful comments that you've written. I really appreciate them. I read them all. Mary from across the sea, it's lovely to hear from you again. Terry Rowe, like, I don't like singling out names, but please know that if you write, you are read, even though I don't write back. Okay, so we've got some of those done, and now over on this side, let's do some French knots. This won't be the only colour I use. I said that before, but it's getting hard. What have I done? There's 3 there. Let's do some over here. 1. 2. And 3. A few more stitches here. And I want to get over to that flower. So I am just going to use the remaining thread to do a little made up set of stitches to get me over to this flower, flower to flower, and we'll do a different stitch in here. Let's just make it like a, never know what to call any of these, but you do like little petals. And one this way, and we're going to just make it a bit longer so that I can catch the edge of that petal and put it down. There we go. And have I got enough to go up behind here? Probably not, so let's do that and make an extra one. So again, we're just being abstract gardeners and using the stitching to make that little flower be a little special. Yeah, I think that's enough. So there we are. Thank you for gardening with me this afternoon on my first panel. Obviously haven't named this piece yet. Sorry that all of that is in your vision, but there we are. So we've got vintage, we've got Indian, we've got American quilt top, we've got vintage embroideries, we've got inexpensive dressmaking fabric. So that's the start. I hope that there's been something in there that has helped you smile, to bring colour and joy and of course flowers to your day. Thank you so much as always, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now and take care.